welcome back to my channel. Please make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell so you get notified when I post new content. It's not easy to stop yourself when you're angry, going back and saying, okay, what am I hiding behind this anger? What is the root source of this? What thoughts went into my head to get me to feel the way that I felt? We have to monitor the thoughts going on in here the way most people monitor what their kids are watching on TV. We need to put in a parental filter for our thought processes so that we can start correcting the thoughts going into our heads, which will help control the feelings that we feel, because you put a thought in your head and it will immediately produce a response. You think about a happy moment and suddenly you're smiling. You're obsessing about this moment. It's a beautiful moment. You're so happy. And then you're like, oh, I'm smiling like an idiot. Somebody's going to ask me a question about the reason I am smiling like an idiot. Okay, pull myself back. It happens. That's how we are created. So we need to filter that. And that is not an easy process. That is a very, very, very difficult process because we are so thought prone. I find this really, really, really important as a parent to constantly be aware of the feelings that I am provoking in my children. I know that my oldest, he tends to act out. And when he's acting out, I know that 9 times out of 10, when he's being mean to somebody, when he's angry with me, that the trigger for him is he feels left out. He's feeling unloved and he's feeling left out. So he's feeling hurt and he's feeling sad. And instead of showing that hurt, instead of showing that sad, he shows anger. And knowing that in those moments that he's showing me anger, that he is trying to tell me that he's not feeling loved in this moment, helps me to help him understand that it's okay. 1, I understand that your anger is really, you're not feeling loved in this moment. 2, I'm going to give you a hug. It's typically not what most parents are going to do in this moment. When you're talking back, they're not like, I love you, let me give you a hug. But I know that in those moments, he's projecting his feelings onto others. He's getting mad at other people. Why? Because he's mad at himself for feeling disappointed. He's mad at himself for feeling left out. He doesn't like feeling those things. So instead of feeling them, he hides them behind anger and meanness. He's not a mean kid. I'm just saying that in the moments that he does act out and the moments that he is mean to someone else, I know that behind those negative reactions are sadness, are disappointment. It's these thought processes going through his head telling him that he's not loved. It's the thoughts going through his head telling him that he's being left out and he's hurt. So it's my job to realize that those feelings are coming from invalid thoughts. These are thoughts that are not true. He is absolutely loved. He is not left out. But he thinks that he is. So he begins to feel sadness. He begins to feel unloved. And it's my job as the parent to accept that these are valid feelings. I know that they are not valid thoughts, but I know that he feels that whether he realizes that's a valid thought or not. So I have to combat those negative thoughts with a positive response. I understand where you're coming from. I understand how you feel. I understand the thought process that went behind that. And I need you to know that you are loved and you are a part of this family. You are an amazing human being. These are things that I have to do to help him become a better person, to help him deal with the negative thoughts and the valid feelings. And I think that's the best way for you to understand that that's what's going on with you. That's what's going on with me. When I'm acting out, when I'm showing anger to someone, 9 times out of 10, there is something going on in the background that has nothing to do with this person. You're just the straw that broke the camel's back. You are not the problem. You are just the person that unfortunately gets projected onto. And I think understanding that really, really changes your understanding of people. And it really helps you to better deal with people who are problematic. Because when you realize that, these people, these mean people, these people who are constantly just negative, there's so much more behind that. It is really, I know we've heard it before, it's an iceberg. What we're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more under the surface. We're only seeing the tip. We're only seeing the bare minimum of what's really going on behind the scenes. So what can we do? We can work on ourselves to understand where our feelings are coming from, so that we can understand what thoughts are going into our. We can start to understand the thoughts that are going into our heads. And once we start really taking the time to pay attention to what we are thinking, then our feelings will change. We will be able to create a more harmonious world around us, because we are choosing to understand what's really going on in the world. Not just with ourselves, but with those around us. Once you understand that there's so much more behind this, that those thought processes that are not real, that are controlling our feelings, need to be monitored. Once we understand that and we start controlling ourselves, we are more willing to be understanding with those that are not understanding with us. This is so big. This is one of those big light bulb shining for the world moments where you're not taking on someone else's anger. Where in the boss employee situation that I spoke of, the boss comes at you angry and you get angry back. Those negative feelings are very, very contagious. And once you start to peel back the layers to figure out where they're coming from, why they are coming up in the first place, it makes you a more understanding person to those who are struggling. And when you're more understanding, it calms other people down. When you're angry and you come at someone who's not getting angry back at you, it helps you vent out that anger, and then you can calm down faster and resolve the situation better. Tell me if that's not true. Comment below. It's true, right? So that's a lot to process, and that's all I have for today. But let's think about that. Be a light to the world. Shine your light, find your joy, and help others do the same. We got this. We can do better for the world. We can do better for ourselves. We can do better for our children. That's our responsibility right now. That's what the world needs, is more responsible people.